Are we ready, Stu? Yes? Okay, you're going to be a good boy for me. Cool. Hello and welcome to Little Likac podcast. It is episode 23. I am really hoping I've got that right this time because the last 3 or 4 podcasts I've said very confidently in my welcome what number it is and then gone to upload it and gone, oh, okay, so welcome to episode 23. Today I have lots to give you, to show you. And we have the giveaway winner to announce as well. And I've just thought I haven't set that up on my phone, but that's okay, I'll pause and do that when I need to do it. All right, so what have we got for you today? I have got some finished objects. Yay, some finished objects. Some works in progress. Obviously, if you saw my podcast last 2 weeks ago, then I had cast on lots of things. I've worked quite heavily on a few of those things, so I've got some finished objects, works in progress. We've got our giveaway winner. We'll do an update on the knit along. So welcome to my podcast. My name is Amanda. This is a knitting podcast with a bit of crochet thrown in, and I live in Derby, in Derbyshire in the UK, with my husband, one of my daughters, and my dog, and 2 gerbils and a chicken, and I think that's about it. I'm a full-time teacher as well. I've just had half term. I've been so busy this week doing lots of nice things, some things not so nice. I will do a little bit of a life update at the end of the episode. And yes, you can find me. Always do those kind of podcast starts. So yep, you can find me on Ravelry, on Instagram. Ravelry, I am Likac66, and we do have a thread, a forum for the podcast, and there are some threads in there for the knit along. So that's on Ravelry. Instagram, I am Little Likac Yarn. Etsy, I am Little Likac Yarn. Facebook, I am Little Likac or Little Likac Yarn. There is a Facebook page, not a group as such, just a page. And yeah, and you can email me if you want to at littlelikac@gmail.com. So yes, as I say, my name is Amanda, and this is my podcast. So lots to talk to you about today, and I feel like I'm already rambling, but it's alright, it's only 2 minutes in. Thank you very much if you're a new subscriber, or an old subscriber, thank you for coming back. And if you are new to the podcast, I hope you like what you see, and please do subscribe to the channel, and then you'll get a little alert, or if you click on the bell, you'll get a little alert when I've uploaded something new, or if you just subscribe, it's easy to find me. Right, so I think that's all the introductions and welcomes, etc. to do. So I will start with what I'm wearing, because it's a finished object as well, in case you hadn't noticed. So this is my love note, and that is what we are doing the knit along for. So this is my love note. I finished it this week. Finished it on Saturday. Finished it on Saturday last week. But when I tried it on, the neckline was really tight, and it was really tight to pull over my head. So I thought I'm going to have to do a different cast off. And also I noticed an issue with the arms, which is still an issue, but I tried to fix that as well. So the first thing I did after I had tried it on, because you do the neckline last because it's a provisional cast on, excuse me, so on Tuesday I unpicked the neckline and cast off again using Judy's very stretchy bind off, which is perfect. And so it's now, I also like the way it sits here now as well, and it comes on and off easily. To be honest, I could have done something in between, because with Judy's stretchy bind off or cast off, you make a stitch, or you do a yarn over in between every stitch you cast off. I'm guessing if you wanted something not quite as open as this, you could do maybe a yarn over every other stitch, and that would probably be somewhere in between the two. That probably would have worked as well. So I'm really, really happy with it. The other thing that I tried to fix, which I did not succeed in fixing, if you look, my rib and my cast off on this sleeve is tighter than on this sleeve, and I cannot work out why. So I unpicked this one because I thought, oh, I think I prefer the loose. I can't remember which way around I did it now. I unpicked one of them and tried to redo it to match the other, and it still hasn't worked. Don't know what I did wrong. Oh yeah, so I unpicked this one and redid it, thinking I'll do it all on the bigger needle, and I don't know. Anyway, however, I've tried, they still don't match. To be honest, if I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't notice. Modifications. I did not do the cropped version of this. So there was measurements for a longer version. I think the measurements for the longer version was 12 inches under my armpit, and I still did more than that. I did 14 inches, and yet it's still come up shorter than I expected. I'm wearing it with jeans today. I'm not going to show you, it doesn't work with jeans. You can see that luckily I've got a vest top underneath, but it does not work with jeans at this length. I would have to go even longer if I was going to wear it with jeans. But I have also worn it with a skirt, and the skirt, that seemed to work fine because the skirt was a bit more high-waisted, and I've worn it over a dress, I believe, as well. Yes, I've worn it over like a tunicky dress, and that worked fine as well. So I'm going to leave it as it is. If I was to knit another one, I would knit it longer. But I knitted this using 2 yarns held together by Truly Hooked. I do like the length of the sleeves. I mean, to me this is a spring, and it's a spring colour, and it's a spring style, so this is very much a spring sweater, even though I'm wearing it in February and it's freezing cold out there. I've worn it a few times this week because I do really love it. So the yarn I used was dyed by Truly Hooked. And I used her 4-ply sock yarn held together with some Suri Lace Alpaca. Love the colour. Not a colour that I would normally pick, but I picked them out, matched them up, and went, yeah, do you know what, I think that'll be really nice for spring, and I love it on me. I absolutely love the colour on me as well. And I posted a picture on Instagram of me wearing it, and it's probably one of the most liked photos I've ever had on Instagram, so obviously lots of people also commented that they thought the colour looked really nice on me, so lovely, thank you. And I need to give a shout out to Kate as well for taking that picture, because it is a really nice picture of me, so thank you, Kate, for taking that picture. That was when we went out with my friend Kate and Penny. We went out during the week and went and visited a new yarn shop, and I will show you later on what I bought at that yarn shop, because I've definitely got some acquisitions to show you this week. Alright, so that's my first finished object. So the Love Note Cal is still carrying on, however, so if you are part way through making a love note, you have got to the end of March. To be fair, this took me about 6 weeks, so even if you cast on now, you could potentially make one, especially if you're doing a shorter version or short sleeves, whatever. You could definitely do one in 6 weeks, I would say. So the Cal is being hosted by myself on Instagram. If you use the hashtag likaclovenotekal, then you can, any posts that you use that hashtag, and obviously a photo of either a work in progress of a love note or a finished love note. If you use that hashtag, any of those posts will go into the draw. And then also we do have a chatter thread and a finished objects thread on Ravelry as well. I'm going to be honest and say there's not much on there at the moment, so if you wanted a chance of winning, you know, posting on the Ravelry thread as well will give you a good chance. And what can you win? There are 2 prizes. One prize is a membership for my mystery sock club, which would be for April's colourway, where you'd get a full 100g skeins and a 20g mini skein. So that's one prize, and the other prize that we have as well is a pattern of your choice by the talented Penny Baker Knits. So there are 2 prizes, okay, and might do one from Ravelry, one from Instagram, or I might just put them all together and draw 2. So yes, get involved with that. There's quite a few people on Instagram who've posted finished objects now, works in progress, and so not so much on Ravelry. So that's, yes, my first main finished object, and I love it. So my second finished object that I've got to show you, because I did say I was going to focus on 3 projects since I last saw you. So this was one of the projects, and I knew that I hadn't got a lot left to finish on this. And then my second project that I was going to focus on were the Thumbelina socks. And I have finished those. I've actually taken the stitch marker off from wherever I was because I think I've used it on something else. And if you know me, I've never got enough stitch markers, despite the fact that I make them myself. I've still never got enough. Anyway, these are my Thumbelina socks. So the actual pattern is called the Mountain Socks by Rachel Nutting. There is, I have just seen, very annoyingly, I've made a mistake there. Let's put it that way up, then you won't see. To be fair, unless you're looking really carefully, you wouldn't notice mistakes, but there are a couple of mistakes potentially. It is an easy pattern once you get going on it. Didn't take me very long really to be able to read the pattern and see where I am. It's got, I've used, so the yarn, the reason why these are my Thumbelina socks is the yarn is the Thumbelina colourway from my Mystery Sock Club in January. Each month is a different fairy story, and January it was Thumbelina and this was the colourway. So I've used 3 rounds of the contrast at the top of the socks. I do really like that. Then it's 2x2 ribbing. Then you have this pattern. I love this textured pattern, and I think it's worked really well with this colourway. It is a free pattern, so I don't think I'm giving anything away there anyway. But yes, there's a couple of times perhaps I've made a few mistakes where I wasn't completely concentrating. Heel flap and gusset. So slip stitch heel, which is one of my favourite types of heel. I just think it looks so pretty. I really like that. And then obviously use the contrast colour for the toes as well. I love these. I'm not going to wear them. They are going to be put away, and I'm going to do a box of socks this year. I am going to knit a pair of socks with my club colourway every month and put those away, so I have a box of socks, because I loved it at the end of last year when I did have a complete box of socks. No pressure for me at the moment though to finish one by the end of each month, although I would like to have the whole set of 12 finished by the end of the year. I'm saying that because I haven't cast on February's yet, although I have now decided on the pattern. Partly the issue for February's sock was I had in my head what I wanted, and I wanted the name of the pattern to fit somehow with the theme, and I just couldn't find one. But I knew a pattern in my head that, well, I'll talk about that later when I talk about future cast-ons, because that will get cast on shortly. So yes, Thumbelina socks, very, very happy with those. I also have a half finished object actually that I didn't prepare, because I didn't really think about the fact that it's a half finished object, but it is. So yes, the Thumbelina socks and the Love Note were 2 projects that I really wanted to work on heavily. Another one was a test knit, which I'll show you in a minute, and then also these socks are socks that I keep in my car to work on whenever find myself with some knitting times. That might be literally 5 minutes waiting to pick up my daughter from somewhere, or I don't know, in a waiting room somewhere. Not that we're waiting outside somewhere these days, because a lot of places still don't have waiting rooms open. But anyway, so these are my, I don't know what to call them, my sock blank striped socks. There we are, that's what I'm calling them, my sock blank striped socks. So this is just a vanilla pattern. And this was using some more yarn that I dyed actually. That was from a sock blank from a dyeing workshop that I went to last summer. And I'll give a shout out. The lady who does those dyeing workshops is Carrie, and her shop is called Peak District Yarns, funnily enough, in the Peak District, which isn't that far from me. And one of the things we dyed there was a sock blank, and I decided to do stripes, and I did a bit of fancy stuff with the pinks to see how that came out. I actually really loved, that didn't come out how I wanted it to come out, but I do like the way it's come out, and I love the sort of mild effect. And just by chance, and it really was by chance, I've managed to get the cuffs, heel and toes all in the same colour, which I just think looks brilliant, and it really was just coincidence. So last time you saw these, you can see where I was up to, because I actually remembered to use a progress keeper, so I'm going to move that in a minute. So yes, so I finished this first sock. This is for my eldest daughter, who is away at university. We went to visit her yesterday, and I had done most of the toe. I said, do you want to just try this on? And then she was like, yeah, that's perfect, just another couple of rows. So finished that off and kitchened it, and got that finished, did I say yesterday? Thursday, and today is Saturday. It is Saturday the 19th of February. Love this progress keeper, and the colours of that progress keeper just go so well. Don't know where it comes from originally. This was gifted to me by my lovely friend Kate. So you can see I have started the rib on the second sock, or I've finished the ribbing on the second sock. I've done 13 rows ribbing, and that's just simply because that's really where the green sort of started to change to the pink. So that's the only reason why it's 13 rows, because it started to change to the pink at that point. So they will go back in my car, and they will just be worked on, as I say, when I find myself with spare knitting time. Really frustrating actually, because last time I recorded the podcast, I did it on the Friday, had the socks down here with me in this room, and then the next day I went, I'll talk about, anyway, the next day I went out and ended up somewhere where there was a knit and natter. I was there at 12 o'clock on the Saturday, and the knit and natter started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like, oh, perfect, I will join this knit and natter. I've got socks in my car, you know, I've always got, and I realised I hadn't got them in the car. I had left them in the house from the recording the podcast. I was so gutted, I really was. And I considered, because there was a yarn shop there, I considered buying something just so I could start join the knit and natter. But yes, if you saw the last podcast, you knew that I'd already got 10 whips, and I thought, I cannot start another project and justify buying needles. And anyway, although I had bought yarn, but it wasn't wound, and it was just too complicated. So those are half finished object. So really pleased with those. Then the third sorry, the third project that I said I was going to really focus on was a test knit. And to be fair, I've got a lot of this done. So this is a cardigan test knit. And for this pattern I am using some commercial yarn that was in my stash. So that's Sirdar Click DK in this really nice, oh, that colour is a really good match for what it is. What I can see on screen matches it really well. It's called Heather, the shade is called Heather, and it has all those lovely colours in it. So it's green, but kind of with, I don't know, so almost like pinks and blues very gently in it as well. It's knitting up really nicely. I say that there are a few faults in the wool in places. Can't remember where I got this from. I think probably it's somebody's de-stash on eBay. I've got a full pack of 10 balls from a long time ago. I bought it. I do remember that I bought it with the idea of knitting a cardigan for my youngest daughter, and just never got around to it. But this is a cardigan. Excuse me. This is a cardigan in like a rib pattern. It's knitted all in one piece up into the arms, and then you split for the fronts and back, which is where I've got to. I've just started doing one of the fronts. So you can see how much I have done since I last saw you. And in fact, you can absolutely see how much I've done, because there's the stitch marker, a progress keeper from where I had got to. So I have done all of the up to the underarm section. This is the pattern. It's called Carmencita or Carmencita, not quite sure how to pronounce it. Carmencita or Carmencita. It's knitting up really nicely. I am hoping that that will be enough length under my arms. Planning on wearing it for work, really, it being a work cardigan. So again, probably likely to be worn over dresses more than anything else, because I wear a lot of dresses for work. There is part, I think I did a tiny bit of extra length, but really not very much, just a couple of rows. Partly, I think, because, I mean, really, though I am very tall, my length isn't particularly, my height doesn't really come from the length of my torso. It's more in my legs. I always need extra length in trousers, but generally speaking, I don't normally need a lot of extra length anyway on cardigans and sweaters and things. So, but if I'm going to keep up and get this knitted by the deadline, it was almost like I didn't really have time to add a lot of extra either, but it's lovely, isn't it? So I'm hoping this will be a nice smart cardigan for work, and you know, it's knitted in a mostly acrylic. I think it's 70% acrylic. Let's just double check. – 70% Why can I never find it? Ah, yes, right there. 70% acrylic, 30% wool. Don't know if that's... Anyway. Yeah, 70% acrylic, 30% wool. And Sirdar Click is definitely still available. Don't know that that colour is, but it's still a yarn, I think, that is available. They do it in chunky as well. I don't know why they called it Click. It's not a very appealing name, is it? But it's a good workhorse yarn. So yes, so that's coming on. That is going to obviously have to be focused on still, because, and I'm actually now a little bit behind. Just going to be, I thought half term I'd be able to really crack on with this. Ironically, over half term I haven't had very much time to do knitting that needs concentration, which that does. So, oh, let me just move my progress keeper though, so we can see how much I've done. Oh, this progress keeper is so cute. Now I got this from Lay Family Yarns, which is where I went a couple of weeks ago. How cute is that? So the lovely Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, and I did buy some yarn as well, which I'll show you. She's got some gorgeous little progress keepers as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got the card that it came on, so I can't tell you the maker's name. But it was just so cute. I had to have that. So let's add that onto the front of the cardigan, so we know where I've got to for 2 weeks' time. So 2 weeks' time, I will definitely need to have finished the fronts and back, I think, and then be on to the sleeves. Oh, and there's the doorbell. Okay, so yes, just had to go and answer the door because I'm the only person in the house, and actually I'm glad I did, because it was the postman and he has brought me some new dies that I ordered, so that's exciting. Right, so where did I get to? I think I just literally finished talking about the Carmencita and the little stitch mark progress keeper on there. So yes, so that was the third project that I had planned on really working hard on, and I did get a lot of it done. So now a couple of other works in progress that I've worked on. There are a few works in progress that I'm not going to show you this time because I haven't worked on them since last time, because as we all know, I had got a lot cast on. And I did say that I was just then going to focus down on a few of them. But this one did get some work. This is my colour block sweater. And this one is really good because for just stocking stitch, when might work on this tonight actually, because we've got a friend coming over for drinks. And so I might work on this tonight because it is just a case of, well, I say stocking stitch. I'm now at the point of raglan decreases on here again though. So this is my colour block sweater jumper. We call them in the UK, but I know internationally they get called sweater. So that's this pattern. So it's King Cole 5795. What I like about a lot of King Cole patterns is that you get two patterns quite often. So it also includes a pattern for this, which is pretty much the same shape, but obviously different stripes. But I'm doing this one. And I've done a lot of work on it since you last saw it. So last time you saw this, I know this has got a right, last time you saw this section, I had got up to here. So I've added all the purple and I'm on the grey. This is the front of the sweater. I have already finished the back. So obviously you can see this is knitted in pieces. So the back is finished, which I think I had done last time you saw this. So that's the back. So I am now halfway up the silver, so it won't take me long to finish the front. And then sleeves, where have I got to on the sleeves? One sleeve is at the purple, so I have done that little bit on this sleeve. I think it finished the purple basically. Obviously sleeves take a little bit more concentration because you have to think about where you are increasing as you go up the sleeves. And the second sleeve, I haven't done any work on the second sleeve. So I'm going to finish the front and then crack on with the sleeves. So that is coming on really well. It won't be finished next time I see you, but it is a good one for, as I say, a lot of stocking stitch, although now on all of the pieces I've got left I have got to look at shaping as I go as well. So I'm just moving the progress keepers, but yeah, I would hope I'll probably have the front finished next time I see you, and of course all the time as I get each piece finished I can get some cables released again. But I am loving that, even though I think the colours are more autumnal. But it'd be nice to have it finished and away and then ready for the autumn. The yarn I'm using is from Woolly Witchcraft on Etsy, and it is, I always have to guess it and then I double check and I've always got it right, so fingers crossed I do the same today. Falkland, I want to say Polworth. I always double check it later and I usually am right, so fingers crossed. And then I'm going to have some leftover of this, which I think I might make a hat, not for myself but for charity. I did say I was going to try and do some charity knits this year, so I think with the leftovers of that I might try and do a stripy beanie hat, maybe to go to an adult one, maybe to go to our refugee charity nearby. Oh, missed that one. The bag is from Etsy. I can't remember the name of the lady. I know that she doesn't have any more of this sort of these huge size bags anyway. Gorgeous colours, but it was from Etsy and it was a really good price. So that was another whip that had more work on it than I thought I would perhaps get done. I'm also working on the Stitch on Sunday blanket by Kelly Menzies, and I have completed, I could have put these in my finished objects, I have completed another square, so I think it will be, oh dear, I think the pink one was the one you haven't seen. I think it would have been this one, the one that you haven't seen. So this is a make along that I'm doing with Kelly from Roro and Cades. She's the designer. Now she actually designed this blanket last year, but she's doing another knit along for it this year. And there's a Ravelry group and there is a Discord group as well, or you can just so I've done 4. I have cast on number 5. Excuse me. I am using wooden short needles, as you can see. This is square number 5, so I am working my way through these. Again, there's 40 squares in total. This blanket will be for my in-laws. I am using Sirdar, no, not Sirdar, Stylecraft Special DK, which is a very popular yarn in the UK for blankets, particularly for crocheted blankets. Probably made popular by the blogger and designer Attic24. She uses Stylecraft for most of her blanket designs, and I think it's made this yarn really, really popular. So I've got quite a lot of this yarn in my stash from where I've done some of those blankets, or where I've planned to do other blankets. I've got a big tub full of Stylecraft acrylic and Sirdar bonus, and so I do want to try and use those for blankets as well. So that has had 1 and a bit squares completed on it. Let me just close up that bag, otherwise things are going to fall out. And I had that happen to me this week as well. So the car knitting one, the stripy socks, beginning of this week I had to go down to Eastbourne for my uncle's funeral, and I drove down and I picked my parents up on the way. It's obviously quite a long journey, about 200 miles, and I picked my mum and dad up and I had my knitting bag in the car, and when I went to get my knitting bag out, one of the needles, DPNs, had fallen out and I couldn't find it, so I didn't do any knitting that day. And I would say that is the first day for at least 2, maybe 3 years definitely, that I've not knitted. Because even Christmas Day I knit, every day I knit, every single day. And I did think, oh, I could put the pattern onto 4 needles, but also actually I don't know whether it was fate or whatever, somebody said, because that evening my brothers came over to the hotel, my cousins came over to the hotel, and we had a family meal and a family evening. And actually maybe, I mean, normally I can knit anyway and talk or whatever, but perhaps it was right that I didn't knit that day. I did knit the next day when I got home. Not till I got home, and probably not very much either. So why was I saying that? Yeah, things falling out of bags. I did find the needle then a couple of days later in the car. So as I say, maybe it was fate telling me not to knit that day. And then after I'd finished the love note and the socks, excuse me, I was thinking, right, what do I want to focus on next? I really want to focus on the colour block sweater, and also this shawl. So this shawl has had a bit more work on it, and this is going to be one of my focus projects for the next 2 weeks. And this has not got any progress keepers in it, so I've quickly found some more progress keepers, these Christmas progress keepers. Never mind. Let me find maybe the least Christmassy one, perhaps not one that says Noel on it. Snowflake. You know what, it's nearly snowing today. It's threatening to snow today, so snowflake doesn't have to be Christmas, does it? It's just winter. So I'm going to put my snowflake stitch marker on it. So this shawl is called Rock My Shawl by Melanie Berg. I absolutely love it. Love how it's coming out. Let's put that on somewhere where it's not going to pull it down. Hopefully there. And since I saw you, I think last time you saw this, I had just done the first couple of rows of the blue. And now I have nearly finished this blue lace section. It's going to be lovely when it's blocked. So I've got another 4 rows I think to do on this blue section. Then it will have a few more rows of stripes. Then it has a small section of this blue lace again, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to have enough. I'm going to have to do a bit of weighing. If not, then I will do I've got this charcoal for the outer edging, and I've probably got enough. I needed just over 1 ball of this for the edging. So if I've not got enough of this blue for the next lace weight section, I'll do the next lace section. I'll do the next lace section in that, and then the edging is done in that as well. So I think it will tie together. So this is the pink and the grey. So as I say, I've got some more stripe sections to do. But I'll need to weigh this and work out whether, I don't think I'm going to have enough to do the next little lace section in blue. That's fine. So I'll do it in the charcoal. This yarn is absolutely beautiful, so soft. It's Adrifil Impero, and it's got yak and silk in it, and it's just gorgeous. I always say silk, it hasn't got silk, but it has got yak. 37% viscose, 36% wool. Oh, I'm going to tell you what my husband's just texted me in a minute, I love him. 19% yak and 8% polyamide. It is so soft, absolutely love it. This is going to make such a snuggly shawl, absolutely beautiful. So that is my, what did I say it's called? Rock My Shawl by Melanie Berg. I just got distracted because my husband's sending me text messages that are coming through to my watch. I'll tell you what those text messages are about, because it is kind of to do with knitting. So my husband is sending me text messages about a spin dryer. I had a spin dryer that I bought second hand through Facebook selling sites for my yarn. When I dyed the yarn, I had a spin dryer that was brilliant then for getting most of the water out of the wool before setting it up to dry. And I'd been using that quite happily in the garage and having it plugged in the garage. And oh, it was the start of this year. Yeah, it was, because it was when do you know what, I had loads of things went wrong in the first, to be honest, all of January. Most of January has been rubbish of 2022. So this either happened in January or between Christmas and New Year. And I just had a spate of bad luck. So I did a load of dyeing, and then I put some yarn in the spin dryer, and I never leave the spin dryer going unattended, and dried some stuff in it, opened the lid up, took the stuff out, took that into the house, came back out of the house because it was in the garage, came back out of the house and could smell smoke, like, you know, something burning badly. And I went into the garage and the bottom of the spin dryer was on fire. It wasn't switched on, and it was on fire, and I was like, oh my god. And I quickly unplugged it, which was obviously a sensible thing to do, and I went to move it, and that's to get it out of the garage before it set anything else on fire. And the smoke, oh my god, it was so dry, and I couldn't move it. I tried to pull it and it was caught on something. So then I called my husband, and he came, and what had happened, he tried to blame me, but what had happened was the spin dryer was on top of another wire, a cable for something of my husband's. I can't think what it was. It might have been his pressure washer, so I don't know if that's still usable or not. But the wire, the lead of that, was underneath my spin dryer where he had put it back. Anyway, we've got too much stuff in our garage. I should have pulled it out further. And basically the heat from the bottom of the spin dryer had heated that cable, and that's what had set fire. And so then my husband just like threw a load of water on it, which, well, I was like, you're not supposed to throw water on an electric. I mean, to be fair, it was unplugged, it wasn't switched on, but and it was still flames on it, but we managed to get it out. So of course that was completely ruined. Had to go to the tip, and I was really upset. And then to buy a new spin dryer is really expensive. And I did a whole load of dyeing again yesterday, and had to put the yarn into the washing machine to spin it, which I don't like doing. It's not, it tangles the yarn a bit more. No, I don't like doing that. I mean, I don't put it straight in. I put it in a pillowcase, but I still don't like it. It spins it for too long, to be honest. Anyway, so my husband was saying, well, I thought you were going to get a new one, and I said, I'm looking out for a second-hand one again because a new one is so expensive, and my yarn business is only a small business, and if I bought a brand new dryer it was going to take a lot of money. So my husband, bless him, I said I need to look on Facebook. He said that he'd seen one on eBay not too far from where I work. It'll still be a little bit of a drive. Anyway, that's why he was just texting me, because he was texting me to say that he's won the bid on eBay. So this week at some point I will have to get in touch with that seller and go after school and hope it fits in the boot of my car. But having a spin dryer is so important if you are dyeing yarn, or dyeing large quantities of yarn. So yeah, so that's why I was getting distracted, because I could see he says you've now got a new spin dryer, you'll need to collect it from such, and sending me a few other messages, but bless him. So he's very supportive, really. So I think those are, I'm just looking, I always sort of like pile everything up to the side of me, showing you all that. Those are all my whips. So I'm going to do the giveaway now before I move on to acquisitions and future knits, etc. And I've also got a shop update at the end of this episode as well, but I will do that last, so if you're not interested you can just finish them. I mean, you can go anytime you like. So my giveaway was for a copy of the Knitter magazine. I have a feeling I will be giving away one of these every month for the next few months. I think I know what happened. Basically both my mum and my mum bought me for Christmas a subscription for the Knitter. I bought myself one, but I think I had got like a 3-month trial for £5 or something like that. I think that's what I couldn't cancel. So I've got a feeling I will have at least 2 more spare copies of the Knitter, so we'll do this again next time. So yes, I said to you last time, if you were interested in a brand new copy of this magazine, because I've got a second copy of it, to leave me a comment underneath saying send me the magazine. We had about 40 people, something like that. So when I took a break because the doorbell rang, I did the comment. I used this is a site called YouTube Random Comment Picker, and so I did it then, and the winner is this lady here. Margaret Rayburn, and her comment was, would love you to send me the magazine. That's fine, Margaret, I will send it to you. There were some beautiful designs in there, and hope you feel like knitting that cardigan at some time. Yeah, me too. Every time I look at that cardigan, it's so pretty. Very tempted by that, or at least I think I'm going to try steeking this year. So Margaret, get in touch with me. You email me Likac, Little Likac, sorry, if you email me littlelikac@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram, give me your address and I will get that in the post to you. I don't know where you are, I don't know if you're in the UK or international, but I will get that in the post to you. So that's the giveaway. Well done, congratulations. As I say, next time I get 2 copies of the knitter, I will do another giveaway for it. Right, so that leads me to we'll do future cast-ons next, actually. So I mentioned earlier my mystery sock club, and that I hadn't cast on my February socks. This is the yarn for February, and this was Little Red Riding Hood theme. I wanted for February to do something red, because obviously there's always that link to Valentine's and red, so I wanted to have a red link, but I didn't want to do necessarily a romance. I thought, well, yeah, we'll go with red because for February, but I don't necessarily want to do something super romantic, and I thought red, actually, Little Red Riding Hood. So that was the yarn for this month's, for February's mystery sock yarn. Club. It also came with a wolf stitch marker, which I now can't find my wolf stitch marker. I mean, I suppose actually I've got some more. Anyway, I don't know if I've put it onto another whip. I don't know where it's gone, which is rubbish, isn't it? So the sock club members got this yarn, and you can either have just the 100 gram skein or the 20 gram, but actually this month I think everybody went with the 2 combined. You also got a little tin with some wolves on. Now I didn't keep one of those for myself, when I ordered them, it was gonna, if I wanted one for myself, I was gonna have to order another like 4 to get them. So I was like, right, that's fine. I'm not so I didn't worry about keeping one of those for myself. But you got a little tin with wolves on. But I have got some of these for myself because these are so gorgeous. And actually, this is the make of these stickers is called Gorgeous. So the sock club also got a little set of these gorgeous Little Red Riding Hood. I just love these stickers as well. So I hadn't cast these on because I thought I wanted to do something cable with this colour. I don't know why, it just said I just figured this yarn could take some quite heavy cables actually. I think some heavy cables, if the yarn colours get lost in it, or the cables can get lost, but I think this would work really well with some thick heavy cables. But I wanted to try and do a pattern that perhaps had some kind of link to Little Red Riding Hood or wolves or something, but I couldn't find a sock pattern that had any connection to Red Riding Hood. Couldn't find one with wolves or nothing that fitted, and then I considered designing my own, and then but every time I thought of a cable pattern in my head, all I could see was my friend Penny's design that she did a few months back called Oberon from her Fairies and Literature collection. And I kept looking at that pattern and kept thinking, yeah, that's the pattern I want, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use Oberon, which is the king of the fairies from A Midsummer Night's Dream. And Oberon, you know, lived in the woods, etc. So, you know, it's got a fantasy feel anyway, hasn't it? So I'm going to use this set and I'm going to get that cast on. I think once I'm not casting anything else on till I've finished that shawl. So that's the next thing that's got to be finished. But then that's going to be cast on. Also got that Steingas sweater, tree lights, that I really want to get cast on soon. But I'm going to wait till I've finished the colour block. So that's, right, heard it here first. When I've finished the shawl, I can cast these socks on. When I finish my colour block jumper, I can cast on the tree light jumper. I don't know when these are getting cast on as well then. So, I also want to do myself a pair of mitts, Fingerless Mitts and hat. And Kelly Menzies, Roro and Cades has got a new hat pattern out that she did a couple of weeks ago called Arrowroot. arrowroot beanie, and I really like that, and she'd sent me a voucher code. Honestly, if you haven't signed up for Kelly's newsletter, I really recommend you do, because you do get voucher codes, discount codes, and actually I had a voucher code come through because I've been signed up to her newsletter for 1 year, so and I got a voucher code for any of her patterns for free, which is fantastic. So I got the arrowroot beanie pattern, and I've got this yarn. Now I've actually got 5 skeins of this, which is more than enough to do the hat. It's not enough to do a garment for myself. It's worsted weight yarn, isn't it beautiful? It is Mirasol Quina, Q-I-N-A. It is 80% baby alpaca and 20% bamboo. So it's just so soft, such a beautiful colour. I'm going to do a hat, and I'm going to do some fingerless mitts. Now I was hoping that Kelly had got fingerless mitts in the same pattern. She hasn't. I have got a pattern for some fingerless mitts that I knitted about a year ago for a test knit, and they knitted up really quickly. I'll either do that pattern again, or while I'm doing the hat, if I feel like the lace pattern in the hat is easy to transfer, I might just try and do my own mitts using the same lace pattern anyway. So, because I've got enough definitely to do the hat and a pair of fingerless mitts. And they'll be really thick and warm and snuggly. So, don't know when they're going to get cast on. Yeah, maybe by the time next time I see you, because they won't take long to do. Fingerless mitts can be done in a weekend. A hat can be done in a weekend, if I'm not trying to work on everything else I've got. Got to keep up with the test knit. Right, then I said I've got some acquisitions to show you. And I've got quite a lot actually. The first one I'm going to show you, I'm going to just do this one while I remember. This is not to do with yarn, so sorry if you're not interested, but it's just so pretty and I wanted to show it to you. So on Thursday we went up to York to visit my eldest daughter who's at university there, and I love the city of York. Such a beautiful city, so many beautiful shops, and we went into, hang on, let me just get the bag. We went into this shop, the Yorkshire Soap Company, and it's a gorgeous shop, gorgeous soaps in it, funnily enough, and I got a box. They'd got all of these beautiful soaps where you could then choose 4 to put in a gift box, and this one is actually for my mum for Mother's Day, but I got pretty much the same soaps for myself and her, and it's just so beautifully packaged. It smells so gorgeous. So these are the 4 that I chose for my mum, and my mum has very sensitive skin. And just look at how they're packaged, absolutely beautiful. So I got her pure honey and bran, lavender and peppermint, pure lavender with lavender flowers, and gardener's herbs. And I got myself the same 3 as these, but instead of the lavender and peppermint, I got myself rose and poppy seed. And just beautiful. I can't show you my box because I've already started to use one. And these are handmade botanical soap bars, and they are just lovely. What I thought I'd do for Mother's Day though for her as well is I might knit a little pouch out of some cotton, so you can pop the soap into the pouch and then use it in the shower. As I say, she has got sensitive skin. I'm hoping that these will be okay for her. They said that it says on here that they are particularly can't see it on here now actually, but I know on some of the actual packs it said that they are particularly suitable for people with delicate skin. If she doesn't like them or if she reacts to them, she can just give them back to me. So, but yes, I'm going to knit her or crochet a kind of scrubby pouch for those to go in as well. So it's kind of knitting related because I'm going to do the scrubby pouch. That's how I'm connected, but it's just so beautiful. I had to show them to you. I also bought some lovely herbal tea. I got cherry and chili herbal tea from a company called the Hebden Tea Company. I know lots of knitters like their bougie teas, but I haven't brought that down. Right, but I do have some yarn acquisitions, not from York. So I've been to 2 yarn shops in the last 2 weeks since I last saw you. So the first one I mentioned already is Lay Family Yarns. and they're down in Telford. And the reason why I was down that way was, again, second-hand equipment for my dyeing. I had I had seen for sale some dyeing equipment, some pans and some bain-maries and things like that. And Telford, it was down near Telford, and that's about an hour's drive, maybe an hour and 15 minutes for me. So not too far really. So I drove down there 2 weeks ago, picked up all these pans and bain-maries, etc. Used them for the first time yesterday. It was very exciting. But I realised when I was down there, I thought, hang on a minute, Lay Family Yarns is in Ironbridge. I don't think that's very far away from where I am. And so I put it into Google Maps, and it was like 5 miles, which was still 20 minutes away because it's kind of 5 miles along winding roads. But I was like, okay. So I phoned my husband and said, going to be a bit longer than I said I was going to be, because I've just realised there was a lovely yarn shop nearby and I'm going to go and visit there first. And he was like, okay. And it was near there that they've got the Knits and Natter. So I popped in and spoke to Kelly, the lovely Kelly. She is really lovely in person as well. I've seen her on YouTube. I'm sure many of you have as well. Or you might have seen her yarns on Instagram. So she's called Lay Family Yarn. And I thought, well, I need to buy something while I'm here. You know, I've got to support other indie dyers. And so then I was really torn with what to get, because I'm really into pinks and purples, but I dye a lot of pinks and purples myself. So I kept looking at her pinks and purples, but then kept thinking of, well, I've got something similar to that already at home or in my own dyeing, etc. So then I thought, well, okay, I'll go for colours that I don't normally dye. Then I thought, well, am I actually going to make anything with it if it's a colour that's not in my usual repertoire? So I was really torn. However, she had the zebra base, which I don't know if you've seen before, but that's where you've got parts of the yarn have got black mixed in with it already. I'll show you in a minute. And I don't have any of that base for myself. I don't intend to dye on that base for myself. And so I thought, right, actually I will get some of that. Again, I was thinking maybe a hat. But I go with a colour palette that I like. I'll stop wittering now and I'll show you. So this is what I bought. So it's absolutely my colours, the pinks and purples and blues, very much my colours, but it's on that zebra striping base. Zebra sock yarn, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, high twist. And this one's actually named Vlogmas, which is quite interesting as well, because I don't know which year this is from, but I think the first time I really got to watch Kelly on YouTube was when she was doing Vlogmas, not last year but the year before, so it would have been Christmas 2020. I don't know that if she did do a Vlogmas in 2021, I'm not sure. So if this is called this is Vlogmas based on 2020, that's quite ironic actually, because that is definitely the Christmas where I watched all her Vlogmas. So that is just beautiful. She also does retreats as well. She does weekend retreats, which I'm very tempted to sign up for at some point, but it would be one of those things though, I think I have to do a little bit of saving for it. So this is from her Ironbridge collection. So I bought that because, as I say, I have not got any zebra yarn. I've seen it on other dyers' pages. I don't dye it myself, but I thought, okay. So that might become a hat. It might become socks. And then in her bargain bucket, I always have to check out. If somebody's got a bargain bucket, I will always check it out. And I can't believe this. I think it's a one of a kind actually, which is why it's in her bargain bucket. I think it's one of a kind, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. These speckles. Bought it thinking maybe a shawl, but now I'm going to mention Kelly again. I have seen Kelly has got a new design that she's working on a really pretty pair of socks based on Pride and Prejudice actually. And I am now thinking, this yarn is screaming at me to do that pair of socks. Now I know she's going to be looking for test knitters soon as well. I can't really take on another test knit, can I? Not that I can guarantee I'd get a place anyway, because her test knits go very fast. Do you know what? That's what I'll do. I'm going to take a punt. If I see in time her test knit call come out, I'm going to leave it to fate. If I see it in time, I'm going to apply to test knit those socks, because I think this yarn will be stunning. If I don't get a place on the test knit, then I'll have to buy the pattern later. and but I think these are destined to become those socks. So part of me thinks it's too pretty for socks, but then there's another part of me thinks I love pretty socks anyway, and I do wear shawls, but I have got a lot of shawls. I wear knitted socks more than I wear knitted shawls. So okay, so those are my purchases from Lay Family Yarns. Absolutely gorgeous. And then more yarn acquisition, and I'm sorry if you don't like seeing what other people have bought. I do. I really like seeing what other people have bought. And obviously I do knit a lot from my stash, and when I talk about the yarns from my stash, a lot of them are discontinued and you can't get them anymore. So it's unusual for me to be saying, hey, this is something you can buy. If you like it, you can buy it too. So we went, I went out this week, so I mean I've been so busy this week. I went out this week with Penny and Kate, so Penny from Penny Baker Knits and my friend Kate as well, and they're two lovely ladies that I met through knitting. Kate and Penny and I realised that we've known each other over 10 years actually. So I was on half term this week from school. My kids don't need me to look after them. One of them's not even here anymore and the other one is 17. So when I'm on half term and they're on my kids are on half term, they don't need looking after or whatever. But Kate and Penny have got little children, and their children's half term isn't until this week coming. So I messaged them and I said, hang on then, if you two are both can be free during the week and you haven't got kids and I'm on half term, do you want to meet up and go for lunch? So that's what we did, and we said we would go and find a nice knitting shop somewhere, and we went to a place called Cromford Mills, which again is not too far from us, about half an hour's drive. And I was aware of the shop but never been. It only opened 3 years ago, obviously just sort of like only been open a year when the pandemic hit. It's called We've Knit It, and she has got fleece in there. Well, when I say fleece, you know, prepared fleeces for spinning. She's got wool, she had got commercial, she'd got indie, she had got spinning wheels, I think, even in there. She'd got some ceramics, felting, even she'd got small dye kits as well if you wanted to have a go at dyeing yourself. So there was lots of bits and pieces in there. She had got quite a lot of drops as a commercial yarn, which is great actually because drops is very affordable really. I didn't buy any drops. She had got indie DK weight, indie sock weight, and she'd also got West Yorkshire spinners. She'd got a couple of other ones. There was a sorry, there was a yarn brand called Onion that I'd not heard of before, and Penny and Kate both bought some sock yarn which was wool and nettle fibres. I was very tempted by that myself, but instead I went for some of the West Yorkshire spinners, and I got this. Oh, look at this. I got this with my eldest daughter in mind, the one that I'm doing the stripy socks for, and I might do her more stripy socks or maybe a beanie, maybe a Musselburgh hat out of that. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome. Rainbow yarn. So that's Rum Paradise, £7.50 a ball. West Yorkshire Spinners is such a bargain. So West Yorkshire Spinners, if you don't know that brand, where have you been? To be fair, it's only really become big, I think, in the last 4 or 5 years. So West Yorkshire Spinners, British company, Yorkshire, funnily enough, 75% wool, 25% nylon, perfect socks, and 35% of the wool is blue-faced Leicester. So it's not merino, 35% BFL, and the rest I guess is just British wool. I say British wool, yeah, reared, sheared and spun in Britain. Interestingly, it doesn't say dyed. I've got a horrible feeling they probably send it away to be dyed and then it comes back. Probably. Can't see what it says there. But anyway, however, the wool is all reared, sheared and spun in Britain. So that's nice. So I've got 3 balls of West Yorkshire Spinners. So this one, the rainbow one, which I've seen knit up and it's just gorgeous. And then 2 of their Christmas ones. I absolutely love this. This came out on Christmas 2 years ago, I think. And I loved this when it came out. I think it's called Silent Night. Yes, it is. Silent Night with the stellina. Absolutely love that. And then I think this is this year's Christmas one. And this is Vintage Tinsel. Yeah, I'm sure that this is this year's, and so that's going to be striping as well, and it's got purple and stellina. So those are just beautiful sparkly yarns. And then I picked up a pair of scissors, because you can never have too many scissors, and some point protectors and stoppers, which I was thinking that I could put on the end of my DPNs to stop them sticking out the back, but I don't know, I'll have to have a look anyway. So yeah, she had got the DPNs, they're not DPNs, the Flexi Flip, something like that. She had got those, which I was very tempted to try. Are they Addy Flexi Flip, something like that. She'd got those, and I asked her if she'd got them in 2.25mm, and she hadn't. She'd only got them in 2.5 and upwards, and she sort of said that she didn't really believe in 0.25, so she didn't really buy anything in 2.25, 7.5, etc. She always went with halves and full. And Penny, Kate and I all looked at each other and kind of went, well, lots of people knit socks on 2.25, and she sort of said, oh well, I use Winwick Mum and she always says 2.5, and 2.5 worked for me. And I went, yeah, but I said I know a lot of patterns do say 2.5, but a lot of everyone's gauge is different anyway. So I think we weren't having a go, we were just surprised when she said that she didn't stock anything in 2.25. We were surprised because all three of us used to. Well, so definitely Kate and I do. I think Penny said she did as well. Anyway, also, and I said I go up to 2.75 for colour work. So again, she wouldn't have those either. So didn't buy any of those because she hadn't got them in the size I wanted. So I haven't got any specific projects in mind for these other than Christmassy socks later in the year. This one, as I say though, could be socks for Eloise or could be a Musselburgh beanie hat for her. I know she'll love whatever I decide to do for her in those. When I finish these stripy socks for her, the amount that I've got left, I'll show you what I've got left of the first ball. I'm hoping that will be enough just to do a pair of wrist warmers. Well, one wrist warmer out of that and one out of the other. So I'm hoping there'll be enough to do her wrist warmers for those. But yes, I'm thinking, like I say, maybe a Musselburgh hat. Might do it and just pop it away and then give it to her for Christmas. So those are my acquisitions and future cast-ons maybe. Right, I am going to do a shop update, so if this is enough for you and you have no interest in what's going on in my shop, and that's absolutely fine, then thank you very much for watching this far. That's amazing. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will hopefully catch you in 2 weeks' time. If you'd like to see what I've been dyeing, now this isn't the stuff that I dyed yesterday because that's all still drying and isn't skeined up yet. This is all stuff that I did a couple of weeks ago and has gone into the shop. I've got one thing that I dyed yesterday, but there's a reason why I brought that down. So, first thing I'm going to show you are some of the sock sets that I've done. I love this. So this sock set is, I haven't called them this on my in my Etsy shop, but I might start calling them this. Think of them as like 50-50. I did the do-it-your-elf stripes at Christmas, and that's the point, is that kind of like you can make stripes, or you can do colour work from them as well. Actually, it'd be lovely colour work. So you get 50 grams of this purple, 50 grams of this gold, and 20 grams of this green. This one is called a 24 carat amethyst because I thought of the gold and then the purple, the amethyst. So 24 carat amethyst, and I just think they would make a beautiful pair of colour work socks, or you could stripe the red and the purple and yellow and do your heels, toes and cuffs in the green. You can definitely get heels, toes and cuffs out of the 20 gram mini. When I did it for my elf ones, I only did 10 rows of rib. I reckon you could do 15 still. Depends on obviously what size you're knitting. So yeah, I've got 3 of those ones, I think, 2 or 3 of those in the shop. Love those colours. There is another sock set, just bear with me because it might be... This is the other sock set that I did, 50-50 socks, so 50-50 set. And that is this silver grey, this bright blue, and this sort of burgundy 20 gram mini. Love this again. So again, for colour work or for stripes, same thing, 50 grams, 20 grams. Okay, the 20 grams is a high twist, which I think is slightly more tight. It's obviously it's a tighter twist, which I think is particularly good for heels and toes as well. So there's, I think, if I remember rightly, there's 3 of that one and 2 of that one in the shop. So I only dye in small batches. So yeah, just love these. So those are the sock sets that have gone into the shop. I've also got a couple of these, which is Ravelry Cappuccino. This is in my soft sock base, which is 75/25, and you can see it's pinks and browns and creams, so it's called Ravelry Cappuccino. There's at least 2 of those. There's always a minimum of 2 that I put into the shop. I dye in batches of 2s and 3s, so there's let me just have a quick look. 2 of these, they are in the shop already, Ravelry Cappuccino. Then we have this one, which is Antique Caramel, which again also has that kind of browns in and the golds. So that's Antique Caramel. That's on my luxury sock, which is 85/25, no, 85/15. There's 2 of those. And then I have these blues, which I love. So this one is in the soft sock, and these are sort of like turquoise with this other sort of blue in with it. Soft sock, and this is called Olivia, and it's on my 75/25 base. There's 2 of those. Absolutely love that. And then the other blue that has gone in, is this one. This is on my luxury. This one is called Celeste. Absolutely love this. I tell you what, if these don't sell, I can't keep doing that. I can't say if I don't sell them, I'll make something. But the reason why I've brought something else down that I did do yesterday, and I haven't put these in the shop yet, I did dye my first attempt at dyeing lace alpaca yesterday as well, the Suri Alpaca. And I did think, so there's 5 balls of this. These are 50 grams lace weight, so 300 metres. They're not listed in the shop yet, but I did think, oh my goodness, they would go really well there. Now, if you're interested, because I haven't got these listed in the shop yet, I need everything to dry, and then I need to photograph it, so I don't know when they're going to go in the shop. But if you were interested in this blue lace, to go with, particularly to go with the Celeste, if you messaged me, I'd be able to sort that for you. But as I say, I've not photographed them or tagged them or anything like that yet. They're not even wound properly, but I just thought I'd quickly bring that down because I did think that floof would go beautifully with that blue. Probably would go not so well with that one, maybe. It would maybe just tone down the colour on that, but I think it would go absolutely beautifully. Now, as I say, I did a whole load more dyeing yesterday, so I did do some pink floof, but I'm going to be using some of that myself, so that's not going to go in the shop straight away anyway. But got the blue floof, and then I've done some, no more sock sets, but I've done some grey in the luxury sock. No, oh, you'll have to wait and see. I've got some more that's going up. I did a lot yesterday. I'm just trying to think. I did some silk, and I did some of the standard sock, the 75/25. Oh, and I've done some mini sets as well. So just look out on Instagram over the next couple of weeks. Right, so yeah, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. I always look around at the end because I'm always kind of scanning. Obviously, you should see the mess. There's just stuff everywhere. Any other news to tell you? Oh, Stu, thank you so much for all the love and support for Stu from the last podcast where I gave you a little update on him. He's been back to the vet because they're just checking up on him every couple of weeks. What is not good news? Oh, I'm snowing now. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but there's snow in that rain as well. So yes, he's been back to the vet. So I mean, what's good is that he is so much better in himself still. Still not taking him out for walks, so he's got no interest in going out for a walk, and with the weather being so horrible, I'm not fussed about that for him. He's eating a lot, he's on steroids, but he's still losing weight. So that kind of suggests that although we're treating symptoms, whatever is wrong with him is still wrong with him, because he's still losing weight and he's eating twice the amount of food he should be eating for a dog of his size, and he's doing no exercise and he's still losing weight. So not very much, he's not lost a lot of weight, but he really shouldn't have lost any weight. But he's really well in himself and he's really happy. He's not jumping up and down onto the sofas. That's one thing that you notice. He's playing a bit more than he was a couple of weeks ago as well. So, you know, lots of things though that are good about him. But yeah, I think long term there's still some kind of issue. But apart from that, so told you obviously went up to visit Eloise. We had my uncle's funeral. I've been out. We've had half term. Back to work on Monday, when I know a lot of other people will be on half term. I'll be back at work, and it was going to be a crazy half term, I think. Every half term seems to be like that though. But it's not a very long half term. We break up at the beginning of April for Easter. Again, probably my holidays will be different in Nottinghamshire compared to others. Although I live in Derbyshire, I work in Nottinghamshire. So yeah, just got to get through probably only about 5 weeks to Easter holiday, and then it's a huge long term to this summer. I think we're going to go back to doing Newark Market as well. I want to say that I will be there next Sunday, but that does depend on the weather. So that would be Sunday the 26th of February. But that depends, or it's 27th, whichever day is the Sunday, but it depends partly on the weather, because if it's wet, very wet, I don't like to go to the market. It's an outdoor market. I don't like the wool getting damp. So if it's going to be very wet, then I won't be at the market. If the forecast is dry, then I will be at the market next Sunday. So that's Newark Market. And my plan is to go back to doing those Sunday markets on a monthly basis if I can. I have also applied for a wool show, a proper wool show in May, and I will hear next week, I think, whether I've got into that or not. I won't say where it is, and also even if I do get in, I don't think I can say where it is until they announce the vendors and things like that anyway, but I'll let you know next time whether I got into it or not. So that's exciting and terrifying to do an actual proper full wool show, but it's a small one and I think it would be a good one for a starter. So yes, so I think that's all my news really. Thank you for joining me. I think I've already said that. Giveaway winner Margaret, get in touch with me and we'll get that sent to you. Love Note Cal, carry on please. Please subscribe to the channel and I will see you in 2 weeks time. Bye. Thank you for watching.